especially now. Especially now. So, my guest is our wonderful friend, Hercules Invictus, and we're going to talk about a lot of things. There have been a lot of changes in his programming methods uh, because of circumstances beyond his control. He's going to tell us about those, and he's going to tell us about a health challenge that he's having, but he's more than up to the challenge. And hi, Hercules, how are you?
Greetings, Diana. I'm great. How are you?
Fine. Um, so now you used to be on Blog Talk Radio.
Yes, for a number of years, I was on Blog Talk Radio, first on a station called CERN, the Spiritual Unity Radio Network. And then when CERN folded, I started my own show, which is under the name Hercules Invictus, which is, of course, my name, and also Mount Olympus Presents. And then um, Blog Talk Radio went out of business. So thousands of shows are now in the ethers where I guess you need psychic gifts or computer skills to find them.
Does that mean that all the Blog Talk shows just disappeared?
Yeah, some people salvaged some of theirs, so they certain shows that we had exist on people's websites. They downloaded all the episodes, then they uploaded them to their websites. So I know that the scholars from The Edge of Time did that, Nicholas Dyack and Michelle Brittany, and I also know that Unarius did that as well.
And also, thanks to you, a lot of the shows you and I did on Blog Talk Radio are on YouTube,
Yes, some of them are on YouTube, and all of the shows that we did that are visual are on YouTube,
including this one. There
including
you
this
go.
one.
So what are your plans for the future now that Blog Talk Radio has gone to that great big radio station in the sky?
Well, given that Skype also went out of business, I'm very reluctant to find another audio network, even though that was very useful. A lot of people don't like being on video or don't have access to the technology to be effectively presented on video. I will lose the opportunity to record their thoughts on platform. But YouTube makes it a lot easier. I record on Zoom as we're doing right now, and then it goes on YouTube. And then on YouTube, right now, YouTube appears to be very stable, so it's available there.
Well, I've been told that anything on YouTube, even if YouTube goes out of business, will be preserved because
Oh,
they have so
great.
many things that must be preserved that there's a fly in here. It's driving me nuts. That will, the shows will be preserved. So
That is fantastic. I was going to move to Skype for a while, and I was researching Skype, and then I found out that Skype went out of business also.
that boggles my mind. Remember, like 10 years ago, or 7 years ago, Skype. It was all over the place. And now it's gone. And that's unbelievable, isn't it?
And before then, it was Block Talk Radio that was all over the all over the place. But
Maybe the kiss of death, you know? I've noticed that whenever I help someone with his mayoral campaign, he loses. So it's a joke among my friends that I'm the kiss of death for anyone who wants to be mayor. So there you go. I don't know. But so you're going to do Zoom from now on.
yeah, I'm going to do Zoom for the foreseeable future. I made another move creatively in terms of expression. I was getting my material published through small independent presses like Tim Beckley's press and Tim Schwartz's press. But now I have a Llewellyn book, an anthology that I contributed to coming out in November. So it's
Wow.
available on Amazon.
What's it called?
It's called Theurgy, and I don't remember the exact it's like subtitle of it, but it's seven different theurgical approaches, and these range from the traditional, which are like the Pythagorean and the um, Hermetic and things like that, to the unconventional, which is kind of like what I do.
Yeah, but you certainly investigate every kind of discipline because your show is always eclectic. I mean, you have everything from bodybuilding to movies, that's my specialty, to politics to everything.
Well, life is not just one topic, and I find life endlessly fascinating. And like Socrates, I realized that, when all is said and done, we know actually very little about anything. So I've come to terms with that. So I don't consider myself an expert in anything, but I am widely read and widely experienced, and I do have opinions. So I feel that the best we can do is share our adventures with others and our thoughts with others, and just take everything with a grain of salt, because what we believe today may not be what we believe tomorrow or next week.
And each person involved in a certain discipline feels that their way of doing things is the one way, the truth.
Correct. Yeah.
And that is, whatever. But I think all roads lead to something, to the same place of psychic awareness, if not in this world, in a future one.
I
Uh,
believe that as well, and that's why I'm structuring everything a little bit more to focus on that aspect. That I have a lot of people who are very smart, they're very well read and experienced also, and they've come to these conclusions that they believe are correct. So I'd love to hear what conclusions they came to, but to keep pointing out that this is based on where they've stood and where they're standing now. This is what they've seen and what they see. But as we move around through life, unless we choose to stay in the same place, we're going to see different things, and the dots are going to connect in different ways. So I'd like to focus more on that phenomenon of the dots connecting and reconnecting and reconfiguring and changing the shape you think you see.
well, we were both into theosophy about 30 years
Yes.
ago, and we've since expanded, if that's possible. Or rather, we have seen other angles of that experience under different names. But yeah, I mean, you learn all your life. It doesn't stop at 25.
No, it doesn't even stop after death. From the contact that we've made with astral entities and with possible afterlives, it seems that afterlives are not permanent either. They're there until you get bored of them. And a lot of souls can't wait to come back to Earth, because Earth is where the action is.
Oh, please. Listen, if I
So
never have to come back here, it'll be fine with me. Oh,
that's what you say now, based on where you're standing. But it seems that many systems, based on people's adventures and experiences, keep pointing to the fact that once you're on the other side and you've stayed there for a while, you can't wait to come back here. So that it becomes a matter of perspective all over again.
there's a fly, as I've said. It's actually a mosquito. But yeah, and I guess it would be. It would be like being on a permanent vacation eventually, or people who retire and yearn to go back to work. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm retired now from my professions.
Oh,
And
you don't teach anymore?
no, I still teach, but it's kind of like a retirement thing. I don't teach as much, but I'm teaching to kids Greek mythology,
Hmm.
uh, and I'm using interactive storytelling, so the kids get a chance to create their own heroes, or pick their favorite heroes from Greek mythology, or I'm doing some on modern mythology, like comic book heroes and cartoon heroes. And we weave together a story using miniatures, maps, and other things. And we get to immerse ourselves in these stories and experience the mutual storytelling that we're all participating in. So that's been very satisfying to me. I do that several times a week. Now it's a summer, so I have a break from it. And with adults, I have, in addition to the shows, I have a monthly get together where people, come to my house, and we talk about different topics, and we try different techniques, metaphysical ones. And again, what you experience, we share, and we don't push any particular conclusion on anybody. It's just, you're welcome to believe what you want to believe, and to interpret what you experience as you want to interpret it.
Aren't you wary of having people come to your house?
The people that are coming to my house, they've been coming to my lectures for years when I had them in public libraries and in other places, so I know them fairly well.
Oh, good. Yeah. Does your wife Athena still teach?
She works more traditionally with kids in different types of like not after school or enrichment programs, but in regular schools with curriculums. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's still involved in teaching as well.
That's great.
She has
That's
more
great.
energy. She has more energy as than I do, and she's also more mobile than I am. Ever since I was
Speaking of
diagnosed with
that,
Parkinson's,
no, you've been a lifelong bodybuilder,
I've been lifting weights my whole life. Yes.
and you were diagnosed with something recently. What is it?
I've been diagnosed with Parkinson's. They suspected it for quite a while and they're watching me for it. But I finally displayed enough symptoms for them to actually diagnose me. So that's a new chapter in the book of my life. And it's been very challenging, very interesting so far.
How has it been challenging?
Well, I had tremors. They're like essential tremors, but a little bit more, um, I guess, intense. And I have them not continuously, but I get them pretty often. And also it's affected my mobility, my balance. And I have, in addition to the Parkinson's, some spinal problems that I've developed, arthritis of the spine, and I've had also stenosis, which means a narrowing, and bone spurs, and some discs that are out of place, all within a few inches of each other. So that restricts my mobility as well. So I still lift weights, but they're a lot lighter than the weights that I used to lift before. And I'm doing other exercises and getting back into energy work. So my workouts have changed, also in occupational therapy and physical therapy. So I've integrated some of that into my workouts, but I can't do the heavy poundages that I used to like to do.
Was the heavy bodybuilding responsible for your arthritis?
I don't know. I can't get a straight answer. Some people believe so. Some people say no. But I don't know. But I don't regret any of the heavy bodybuilding I did.
Mm-hmm.
It was worth doing when I did it.
I think I know what you mean, yeah.
And now that I can't do it, I miss it. So
But you still do it after a fashion.
yeah, lighter weights and different types of movements. I have to do more expansive movements and more stretching and less contracting. And the lifting weights is mostly contractions. You know, we put a lot of energy in it. And this is thinking wider and larger, and it involves a lot more practical meditation, I guess you'd call it, rather than recreational meditation.
What is the prognosis for Parkinson's? What ultimately happens?
Ultimately, you, well, it's hard to say. But Parkinson's is very different for each individual, so I don't know how Parkinson's is going to play out with me. But I can have Parkinson's for many years and have a full life.
Mm-hmm.
But I am going to suffer some effects of it. Like I might not be able to move around even as much as I'm moving around now. I may become wheelchair bound, and I may get tremors that are more extreme. But they found that exercising a lot, and I exercise like 4 or 5 times a day on most days, on most yeah, days, and also exercising your mind, which I've started to do much more consistently and more often, and then moving around as much as you can, which again, I try to do that as often as I can. They extend your functionality with the
Wonderful.
Parkinson's, but I could have a few good decades left. So that's a,
Wonderful. Good, good, good.
and
And I
then,
mean, Katharine Hepburn lived to be 97 or something. So
right.
there you
And we
go.
all know that life is iffy for everybody. So any second could change your whole life, or any second could be your last. So I'm grateful for the life I have. I'm happy with the life I've lived, and I'm looking forward to the life I can still create with or without the Parkinson's.
There are so many little flying things in this studio. They're driving me crazy. I feel something crawling and I turn, you know.
Maybe they're fans.
There you go. But so I shouldn't squash them. But so well, now are you going to continue to teach?
Yes, I'm going to continue to teach, but it might be I record more of my thoughts and get them published, rather than doing public talks or even private talks in my home. And with the kids, I might take all I've learned by doing this for a long time and write that down to preserve it. Because it's very similar to like role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons and
Hmm.
Tunnels and Trolls and Castles and Catacombs and all those type of games. But the storytelling aspect is more there, and it's very rules light, and it's very immersive. So I might record that and get that out there so other people can play with it.
That's great. That's really good.
And
I
so
think perhaps a positive outlook leads to a positive outcome regarding any uh, challenge, don't you think?
I think so too. I think that if you remain positive, you're more likely to experience positive things. Whereas if you think negatively, even if it's not a magical or metaphysical thing, your brain is in negativity. So everything you see is going to be colored by that negativity.
Sure. You notice that people say, oh, that's just my luck. They always have bad luck because that's what they expect. They manifest it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And keep reinforcing it by saying it.
Yeah, exactly. So, what with your shows, are you going to continue to do the panoply of shows you do now, all those many different topics, or are you going to
Yes.
narrow it down somewhat?
I'm gonna narrow it down a little bit, just because, again, there are way too many things to talk about and explore and discuss, but I don't have the time uh, and the ability that I had before. So I want to focus the main thrust of what I'm doing. But I have something, and your show is one of the shows called the Legacy Show, and these are shows for people I've come to greatly respect and like and believe in. So I
Thank you
want
for
their
that, sir.
voice to continue and not to be an extension of my voice. So their shows have a lot more freedom than the other shows, because the other shows are more topical. But like for instance, the Diana Montford show on as a podcast, as a YouTube show, could be about any topic that Diana Montford chooses to talk about. And it's the same with like Brian Walker shows. And
Michael K. Waterman shows set now, you know.
yes, there are some shows where they have the total voice on the program and they can discuss what they wish.
Well, the Brinkerhoffs, are they still on your station?
Not monthly. They're on whenever they have the time. They found an hour a month too much, so now it's more sporadic. And
Ah, I'm so sorry. Okay.
it's okay. People,
How about Nick Curto?
Nick Curtis still has his shows on Saturdays. And then I have shows that people participate in, like the UFO entity Enigma. And that's some people have shows, some people don't have shows, but a lot of different people get together to talk about that. So I'm excited by doing this, and eventually there'll be at least one show a day. When I had Block Talk Radio, I had sometimes two or three shows a day.
I know, I remember, yeah.
So right now I'm aiming for one show a day again. It might take me another 6 months or so to get there, but I will get there.
Do you still do the bodybuilding shows? Excuse me.
Yes, I still have Ryan Foley, and I have um,
Michael Del Rossi?
Michael Del
Del
and
Rossi.
those are the regular shows that are there every month. And then I have some open shows where people who are struggling with not necessarily what I'm struggling with, but who might be struggling with something else, talk about how their struggles have molded their perceptions and have adjusted what they do. So Michael DeLucy, who you mentioned, he's older than I am. So he has certain restrictions or conditions to restrict him. So he's made some of the same decisions I've made because he loves lifting weights and bodybuilding as well. And he's made other decisions, and like for instance, dietarily, I'm a carnivore and he's a mostly a vegetarian. So again, we don't have to agree on everything, but we discuss why we came to the conclusions and made the decisions we made, and then people can share in that and make up their own minds about what they want to eat and how they want to exercise and whether they want to meditate or visualize or do affirmations or whatever.
What kind of meat do you eat?
I eat mostly beef,
Okay.
and I found I'm diabetic. I have type 2 diabetes. I've had that for well over a decade. And I found that eating high protein, high fat, low carb diet keeps my blood sugar in check. And if I have too many carbohydrates or mess with the fat content and lower it too much, then the blood sugar level goes up. So that
You
works
once
with me.
blamed your type 2 diabetes on having followed, I believe, a Charles Atlas diet, which recommended that you eat 6 oranges a day.
Oh,
Do you think that did it?
that was no Charles Atlas diet. That was a bodybuilder. I forget which bodybuilders, but back in the day before.
Lionel Strongfort, someone like that?
Oh, I don't remember, but I remember that I published a lot of. I didn't publish. I'm sorry. I read a lot of material that was published during the era of bodybuilding before steroids became very prevalent.
Mhm.
When people went on extreme diets for bodybuilding, and there was one diet where you drank like a gallon of milk a day, and then you ate 6 oranges. So even though I was lactose intolerant, I started drinking more and more milk until I was able to tolerate a gallon a day, and that was great. I had a gym in my basement. It was in Pennsylvania, and I had two universal machines. I had a few benches. I had a leg press machine, and I've never been as big in my entire life. And I felt fantastic until I started falling down flights of stairs. Then during the doctor's visits for that, when they took blood, they discovered that my blood was very high. I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I discovered how much sugar I was imbibing daily through the milk and through the oranges alone.
Milk? It has sugar?
Yeah, it has sugar, lactose.
Oh, well, I guess. But even as a kid, I wasn't crazy about milk, but okay. Well, I used to love, we both love French vanilla ice cream.
Yes, I love that, and I
I
haven't
do
had
too.
ice cream in like a year now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had to give that up because the ice cream uh, kept my numbers higher, like for days after I treated myself to some. I kept restricting it, and then I finally just gave it up. I found now that I can like slightly cheat on other things. There's chocolate hummus, which if I have it once or twice a month, it doesn't really affect my sugar. There's chocolate wine, which I have once a month on the day when people come over and we talk about
Chocolate wine?
chocolate wine. Yes, imagine if Yoo-hoo had alcohol in it.
Oh, sounds good, actually. Okay.
So
Do they still make you? Who I haven't seen it lately.
yeah, I don't even know.
Does anyone remember Cocoa Marsh? I doubt it.
No, I don't
It
remember
was
so
you.
much.
It was a syrup you put into chocolate syrup to
I
put into
remember
milk.
Bosco.
Oh,
Bosco
Bosco, of course. Who doesn't? Loved Bosco. Yeah.
and Ovaltine, I remember.
That one I was too crazy about. But okay. But anyway, how can people access your shows these days?
They can go to YouTube and type in Hercules Invictus, and all the different shows are listed under their general topic. Like yours is the Age of Heroes, because what many of the things you do are not only entertaining, but they're very heroic, or at least I think so.
Thank you very
And
much.
they're under the subcategory the Diana Montford Show. So you could type in either one in the search, and they'll come up. And that is the best way to reach me. And my email is hercules.invictus@gmail.com. If you want to reach me that way, make sure to write something that would stand out in the title so that I read it, because I get way too many
Mhm.
emails during the course of a day.
Yeah. Do people ever ask you, so when are you going to put me on the air? That kind of thing.
Yeah, that happens quite a lot. So I'll schedule them on the air as fast as we can manage it. Sometimes we can manage that quickly, and sometimes it'll take a month, 2 months, sometimes even
Sure.
months to coordinate schedules where they're free when I'm available to record shows.
Yeah. Is Lynn Michelli still on?
Lynn Michelli's still on once a month. She's with the Edgar Case's ARE, and her
Right.
show is
Yes.
called uh, the ARE of NYC. And she's also,
Fourth Sunday of the month. Yes.
yes, she's under the Theosophy umbrella.
When I had a landline, I listened to your shows every night. And now that I have a cell phone and no landline, I'm always afraid that it's going to run out. That I get paranoid about the energy level, the battery, the this, the that. Oh, I really liked landlines. I'm not crazy about cell phones, but okay.
I liked it when phones were just phones and and nothing else. Now phones appear to be cameras, and movie cameras, and computers. I liked it when I had a beeper, just so I could just see somebody's number and then call them, in my leisure. And
What I hate is when um the phone photographs like my messy coffee table by accident.
yes,
Ugh, I hate that.
I wound up photographing my leg or my desk.
Exactly, exactly. Oh God. But anyway, so now again, to contact you, they would go to hercules.invictus@gmail.com.
Yes, or they can leave comments on any one of my shows at YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully you're going to be doing shows for the rest of your life
Yeah, that's my
with
hope.
whatever new media comes along.
As long as I have somewhere to sit and a place to put my computer, I will be doing something in that capacity for the rest of my life. Because regardless of how restricted I become, I'll never be too restricted to do that. So
And you can, now you've written presumably an essay or a chapter in this new compilation book. Are you going to continue to write?
that's my intent. In fact, I'm working on a few projects now that have publishers interested. So
Wonderful.
how
Llewellyn, of course.
Yeah, Llewellyn has been awesome. I've reviewed Llewellyn books and interviewed Llewellyn authors for decades now in my
Hmm.
various venues, whether they were newsletters or websites or blog sites or e-radio or now e-video. So I've had a long relationship with Llewellyn. They're awesome individuals, and I've become friends with many of the authors over the years, and they're amazing individuals as well.
I've been reading Llewellyn books since the 70s. Anyway, my guest has been the fabulous Hercules Invictus, who's a great producer. He produces many different shows on many different topics. Type in hercules.invictus@gmail.com and you can see a list of his many shows. And you certainly should because he is brilliant. I'm looking over at the clock to see how much time we have. And Hercules, please come back soon. You're great.
Thank you very much. And I like our creative adventures a great deal. And I look forward to continuing adventuring with you on these platforms.
I'd love to do it. Okay, great. Again, my guest has been Hercules Invictus. I'm Diana Montford. This has been the Diana Montford Show. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye. I think we ran over, but that's okay. They didn't get my goodbye, but that's okay, you know. So how do you feel? I think we ran a little over, but I'm not sure.
Okay, take care. I'll talk to you soon.
No, well, how do you feel? How are you? Hercules?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
How do you feel? Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Good. I love the bangs. They make you look younger, you know?
Really? Thank you.
Yeah.
My wife gave me bangs this time around when she trimmed my hair. So we figured we'd try that out for a while.
It looks nice. It looks good. And it's very Greco-Roman.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'll talk to you real soon.
I'll talk to you real soon. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Let me see if I can sign out and put on my reading glasses. I might need to do that.
I do too.
Thank the gods for dollar stores or dollar 20.
Hello, exactly. I sent to Dr. Leonard's for mine.
Okay, there we go. Okay, good night, Diana. Have a great day.